How do? Subscriber video today. Curtis Warren. The book, Cocky. I read the book, very good book. I'm going to tell you what I can remember from the book. Who is this guy? I'll tell you who he was. I think he's the only criminal stroke drug dealer who's ever got in Great Britain top 100 richest people list. Have I made that up? I don't think I have. He was a big time drug dealer. He went from a very low level in a couple of years to massive. Dealing with a Cali cartel. You know, drug barons. He was dubbed Great Britain's Pablo Escobar. All these sort of things. So why have they asked me to talk about him? Just read an article, believe it was yesterday. He's due for release. He's in the high security estate in this country. I believe he's at Long Larton still. I have a friend at Long Larton I was talking to who said, loosely speaking, they work with Curtis Warren. You know, they had contact with him. Yeah, the lad's had his head down. Here's the thing, you know, you lock people up, you give him a sentence, he's done his time. So he's coming up for release in November. He has had a very different career to me. He's of a similar age. Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about him. Okay. That being said, main man, get a quick view of him. I'm going to sit down because it is really warm today. Stephen, say hi to your fans. There we go, lad. Got your head in. Yeah? I'd like to thank everyone who is supporting me on Patreon. Very much appreciated. And everyone who's bought me a brew, bought me a coffee. Again, very much appreciated. Police helicopter out again. We're not far from the base here, guys, which is quite often why it features in our videos. Stephen and my... Yeah, so Curtis Warren, like I said, early 20s, me. I did get in bother. Fighting in town. Alcohol. Yeah, causes problems, but I had rugby, kept me focused, definitely kept me out of prison. Started as a bouncer, low-level crime, selling drugs. I'm going to go back to Sheffield towards the end of this and give you my own experience of bouncing and the drug scene. Yeah, so pubs and clubs, no shortage of punters. I might take a seat here. Stephen, come here, lad. There isn't much shade here, guys. I'm going to let him lay down and then walk him back. I brought him in the car. It's a bit warm now. Here you go, lad. Stevie. Yeah. So, this guy realised quite quick, bit of an entrepreneur. For me, yes, I understand the violence around drugs. You can make a lot of money. Whatever level you are selling at, you can make a lot of money. Tony Wilson, bless him. If you see this, Tony, hope you're doing all right, mate. Tony Wilson, now clean, but when he was an heroin addict, he used to get on a bus from where he lived in Samworth, travel to Moss Side in Manchester, which could be a dangerous place to buy heroin. He would buy it for his friends, come back and sell it. As Tony said, nobody wanted to go to Moss Side for heroin, but he was happy to go. He'd get back, he'd sell it to his friends, and he realised he could make quite a bit of money. That's the thing, it's all about money. Curtis Warren, like I said, when he got in the top 100 richest lists, reputed to have, I don't know, 200 million or something like that. At some point when he got locked up, the authorities wanted 196 million off him, with the threat of another 10 years in prison if he didn't provide that. So, yeah, this guy went straight to the top. Cali cartels, millions and millions of pounds worth of drugs, and tons of drugs. And here's the thing that people in authority miss for me, yeah? Curtis Warren hasn't made thousands and thousands of addicts. Let's look at addiction, right? Let's split it bang in half. Bit more complicated than that, but we're going to split it in half. We're going to look at them people who take prescription drugs, alcohol, and hard substances to mask the past, you know, to get away in life from things. I've met plenty of them now, and I'm going to be meeting plenty more, yeah? He didn't make them. The trauma, childhood trauma and the like, made them people addicts, yeah? Supply and demand. Then you get people, you know, who couple of lines of coke at weekend, or whatever your drug of choice is. Prescription drugs, every drug that's produced in this country, grown, every drug that's brought in is sold, no problem. If there's a shortage of supply, the price goes up. If there's plenty of it, the price comes down. Supply and demand. If there are no addicts, Curtis Warren wouldn't have made 200 million. Yeah? We're not addressing that. We're not preparing kids. Kids are starting early now. Things I never did. Vaping, I've talked about that. Nitrous oxide gas, smoking weed. Yeah? We had smokers when I was at school. Terry Webster, bless him, no longer with us. You know, I never smoked. Back at Bike Shed, they were smoking. Shops, my daughter was shocked at this, shops then would sell a single cigarette to a school kid. You know, whatever they cost, get a packet, split them, selling them. Yeah, that's what kids were doing at my age. When I was like 15, come and lie down, kidder. Where's your ball? Get your ball, good lad. Yeah, 14, 15, going to parties, drinking alcohol, yeah, which is a dangerous thing. Again, so yeah, it's supply and demand. He's done a few prison sentences, long ones. He did get arrested in Holland, looking to bring a massive amount of drugs into this country. Did his time in a Dutch prison, got involved in an altercation, assault, whatever it was there. A fella died, got another 4 years for that, claimed self-defense. Prisons are dangerous places. Got out from that and then got arrested over here. Did his big sentence, yeah. Done a lot of jail. Due out in November. So what'll happen when he gets out? The authorities are worried. Let me tell you now. I know people see, you know, drug dealers and that, scum of the earth and everything else. There's some really bad people out there that have been let out of prison. This lad's done his time, he's going to be out. Like I say, it's supply and demand. That's why people get rich. Every single drug manufactured in this country, brought into this country, is sold, no problem. We're not addressing that, we're not dealing with it. Kids now, I think, are going to be in big bother. Yeah, they're not prepared. Expectation of kids today, up here. Realisation, down here. Yeah? So when he's due out, what can he expect? Well, he's going to be monitored, obviously. You know, there'll be a lot of articles as he's coming up to release. He will be limited, probably, you know, 4 or 5 years. He won't be able to spend money, buy fancy cars or anything like that. They'll be all over him. So yeah, he's done his time, he's getting out. I don't know, he might have done enough jail, who knows. The thing is, when he got locked up, there was someone to replace him. Low-level people, police who work the streets, you know, undercover and that. Train's still running today. They've said, on reflection, looking back, when they were working for the drug squad, the only people they were locking up were the addicts, low-level people. And what they've all said, you know, it's not me, this, is you remove a Mr. Big, there's 3 more Mr. Bigs to take their place. Along with that comes the violence because of the money involved, the power and wealth. So yeah, Sheffield, when I was working as a doorman, let me get you now, I did work at a wine bar, Anna Ann's, on my own. I did enjoy that gig. There was a couple of moments that, shall we say, I had my buttocks clenched, especially being on my own. But I also worked gatecrasher Friday nights, yeah? For those that are too young to know, and those of a certain age, mad clubs, wild, ecstasy. You know, it was all happening. Dance clubs, they were everywhere. Sheffield, like a lot of places, you could go clubbing Friday night and go all the way through the weekend. Right through to Sunday night, maybe Monday morning. I did a stint at a club called Insomniacs. Used to be Romeo and Juliet's. Insomniacs. Mate says, do you fancy it? Morning, God. Boredom. Easy money, no violence. Gate crasher, no trouble. No violence. Lots of people loved up on ecstasy and the like. My mate warned me, he'd been a doorman 4 years. Be very careful, Sam. Yeah? A lot of drug dealing going on there. At some point it's going to get busted. I told him, nothing to do with me. I could see it. Now, I'm not front of house, me as a doorman. I'm not bigging myself, not at all. You know, I am a talker, a lover, not a fighter. I were inside, you know, you deal with trouble. Drunks, not many, everyone were on pills. You know, bit of bother, kicking the odd person out, that sort of things. Trying to keep a peacemaker, as it were. Used to have to do a stint in a couple of smaller rooms, garage music and the like. Wow, the bass used to knock the shit out your insides. I hated it. An hour at a time in there. People have been there all night. Boom, 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 boom. That sort of thing. So the drug dealing, dead obvious. You'd be stood there, you could see it happening. There was a young lad who was a regular. He used to try and come in a wine bar while I was on the door. It was barred from a lot of places because people knew he was selling drugs. He eventually got a decent sentence, that lad. He was only 16, 17. He'll have been making loads of money working for the doorman who was pushing the drugs. So you could see it happening. Yeah, boom. Again, I kept out of it. When it went down, I weren't on shift. Again, if you're too young to know, the people coming into the clubs then, crazy outfits, lasses half dressed, lads half dressed, spiky bras, hot pants, crazy shoes, crazy colours, glow sticks. It was mad, you know, almost like a bit of a hippie revival from the 60s. Love and peace, acid house, garage, whatever it was. I was never into that scene. You know, I've always been a bit of an headbanger, heavy metal. But no bother. Anyway, when it went down, a lad I knew, he did get arrested, but he got released. Basically, the lights come on, the coppers are outside, they turned up in 2 vans. The metal rails on the outside they used to put up for people queuing, coppers no messing, straight over their heads. Didn't go round them, yeah? All the doormen on the door, cameras pinned. Inside, lights come on, 200 coppers inside, all dancing. Young lasses and lads, dressed like everyone else. Drugs everywhere, he says. Bags of drugs all over the floor. Everyone dumps the drugs, yeah? The doorman, the main man, got away. A lot of people got arrested, got time. He fled to another country. Eventually, he would come back and hand himself in. Got homesick. So yeah, a lot of money to be made. No shortage of punters for any drug that's on the market. Yeah? Gets a grip of people, and that's it. Away you go. So Curtis Warren, due out. He's done his time. He's going to get out. You know, that's it. That's what happens. Anyway, parting shot as always on this beautiful day. Again, thanks to everyone who's supporting the channel. Thanks to everyone who makes comments, past guests, and all my future guests. Thanks for coming. I'll see you.